And I can remember thinking to myself at that point, wow, who knew 4 years ago that, that I would even be a part of anything that was this stupid.
Stevie Nicks is a music industry legend, becoming the first female artist to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. But behind all the accolades and glory is the story of Stevie's resilience and her sacrifices. Join us as we reveal how Stevie's battle with addiction and image issues has left her to be a shell of what she used to be in her heyday. Stevie Nicks was born in 1948 in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona. Stephanie Lynn Nicks, born to young newlyweds Barbara and Jess, had music coursing through her veins from a young age. Grandpa Aaron Nicks, an aspiring country music singer, played a pivotal role, teaching Stevie to sing at the tender age of 4 and crafting a guitar for her. He even took her along to local gigs, setting the stage for a future music icon. As Stevie navigated through Menlo Atherton High School, destiny intervened at a party in 1966. Lindsey Buckingham, a classmate, sang, and on a whim, Stevie joined him in harmony. Fate brought them together again 2 years later when Buckingham invited her to join his band, Fritz. She also fell in love with Buckingham, and the duo remained together as Fritz opened for Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and Santana before breaking up in 1971. Nicks and Buckingham, however, remained together and formed their own band, Buckingham Nicks. Buckingham Nicks secured a record deal with Polydor Records in just 2 short years. Their debut, self-titled album hit the shelves in 1973, though it didn't make much of a splash in the music scene as they'd hoped. However, it managed to grab the audience's attention for something other than their music. The album cover featured the couple in a groundbreaking moment, appearing nude from the waist up. This was groundbreaking because it was the first time a music duo appeared on the cover of their LP topless. But the story doesn't end there. Several accounts recount a pivotal moment during the photo shoot when Nicks initially resisted removing her blouse, but the abusive Buckingham threw a fit, declaring, "This is art." Nicks eventually relented, though she kept the album hidden from her father. This episode wasn't an isolated incident in their rocky journey. After the album failed to make a significant impact, the couple faced financial hardships. While Buckingham continued to focus on his music, Nicks took on various jobs to support them, including roles as a dental assistant, maid, and waitress. In a revealing 1994 interview, Nicks disclosed, "I worked at the Copper Penny, Clementines, and Bob's Big Boy. I supported Lindsey and us for years." The stars aligned for Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham in 1975 when they received an invitation to join the legendary Fleetwood Mac. Mick Fleetwood himself reached out to them on New Year's Eve, inviting them to dinner. However, Buckingham, deep into working on their second album, was initially hesitant about joining another band. Nicks, too, had reservations, as Christine McVie was already part of Fleetwood Mac with her husband, John. Christine McVie, however, welcomed Stevie with open arms. The ladies made a pact to never be treated as second-class citizens in the rock and roll realm. Stevie fondly recalled her saying, "We will never be not allowed to hang out in a room full of intelligent, crazy rock and roll stars because we're just as crazy and just as intelligent as they are." It worked, and the band was thrilled with Stevie Nicks's songs. Rhiannon and Landslide from their first album together made waves on the Billboard 200 list in 1976, boasting 3 hits in the top 20. Yet as the spotlight shone brighter on Fleetwood Mac and all their hard work finally started to pay off, the personal lives of its members took a toll. The once tight-knit group faced challenges. Buckingham and Nicks had their spats while the McVies, too, were grappling with their share of problems. Notably Christine's affair with a lighting director in 1976. Despite all the chaos, Christine became a mentor to Stevie as they worked on the iconic Rumors album. This album unveiled the looming romantic breakups within the band. Songs like Buckingham's Secondhand News and Never Going Back Again, Nicks' forewarning in Dreams about the fleeting nature of relationships, and even Christine McVie's You Make Loving Fun, which was clearly about her affair, set the stage for the personal turbulence that lay ahead for the group. This album went on to become #1 on Billboard and won a Grammy for Album of the Year. Just as all the hard work was paying off and Stevie was finally a rock and roll superstar, another challenge emerged. The relentless touring, night after night, took a toll on her precious vocal cords. In July 1977, a concert review by New York Times writer John Rockwell revealed Nicks had nodes on her vocal cords. Her voice, once a powerful force on stage, now wavered and faltered. Mid-range notes were painfully shredded, leading to the cancellation of a few concerts and garnering bad reviews for the band. In August 1977, Stevie Nicks, in a public statement, addressed her vocal struggles. Her speaking voice, she explained, was exacerbating the nodules. Determined to heal, Nicks took a break from talking, engaged in gargling, and even indulged in face saunas to aid her recovery. The rock and roll journey took an unexpected turn in 1990, when Fleetwood Mac faced its first real flop with Behind the Mask. Stevie Nicks, driven by her desire for a solo career, decided to leave the band. A disagreement with Mick Fleetwood over the use of her song Silver Springs on a solo project led to her departure. Despite the initial departure, Stevie Nicks did reunite with Fleetwood Mac briefly in 1992. The iconic song Don't Stop became the soundtrack for Bill Clinton's successful presidential campaign. The reunion, however, was short-lived, as Stevie and Lindsey Buckingham performed only a single concert at Clinton's inaugural ball in January 1993 before returning to their solo pursuits. Stevie Nicks, despite the allure of a solo career, expressed in a 2011 interview with Rolling Stone that she never wanted to embark on this journey alone. Her heart belonged to being part of a band, yet the abundance of her creative spirit led her to explore solo ventures. In 1997, she rejoined Fleetwood Mac for the album The Dance, showcasing that her ties to the band remained unbroken. Stevie, at the height of her fame, entered into a romantic relationship with Don Henley, the Eagles' frontman. Their connection, a spark in the late 1970s, resulted in Henley's collaboration on the track Leather and Lace from Nicks's 1981 debut album, Belladonna. The romantic melodies, however, couldn't shield them from the storms within. Rumors circulated about Henley's desire to marry Nicks, but as fate would have it, the couple eventually parted ways. In a shocking revelation in 1992, Stevie Nicks disclosed that she had been pregnant by Henley and 3 other men, choosing to terminate those pregnancies. Similarly, in another heart-wrenching reflection in 2009, Stevie Nicks laid bare the sacrifices she made for her art. Choosing not to be married or have children, she embraced the path of a true artist. Her decision weighed heavily on her heart. While her dating life wasn't going well anyway, what followed made it even worse. In 1983, another tragedy struck when Stevie's best friend Robin Cinder, diagnosed with terminal leukemia, faced the cruel reality of a 3-month life expectancy. Complicating matters, she was pregnant. Stevie, drowning in grief, coped with her visits to the hospital by immersing herself in a haze of substances, desperately trying to numb the pain. As she recalls, "I was so high on coke, I'd drink half a bottle of brandy on the way there because I couldn't stand it." Her friend admonished her not to come back until you're not high. And when Robin died, Nicks said, "I went crazy. I just went insane." And so did her husband. The baby, Matthew, was born 2 days before Snyder died. Struggling with grief and a desire to care for the child, Stevie proposed the idea of marriage to Kim Anderson, Robin's husband. This unexpected turn shocked everyone, including Nicks herself. In her own words, it was a completely ridiculous thing. The decision, fueled by a sense of responsibility, ultimately resulted in a marriage that Stevie describes as a terrible, terrible mistake. Stevie shared the depth of her emotional state at the time, stating she was deranged from grief. She elaborated on the desperate attempt to find solace through marriage, saying, "We got married because we were grieving, and it was the only way that we could feel like we were doing anything." Unfortunately, the union lasted merely 3 months, and the aftermath left wounds that would linger for years to come. This fleeting marriage stands as the only time Stevie Nicks has been married in her entire life. Its enduringly negative effect echoes through the years. Following the divorce, communication between Stevie and Kim Anderson came to an abrupt halt. They essentially cut each other out of their lives. Another big problem Stevie faced throughout her life was her problems with addiction. She spent most of the early 1980s as high as a kite. Even though she tried to quit her cocaine habit as early as 1982, she slipped while filming her epic video, Gypsy. Chain-smoking cigarettes became another vice, and the consequences of her drug use manifested physically in 1986. Stevie discovered that her cocaine habit had burned a hole in the septum of her nose. Concerned friends and family, witnessing her downward spiral, intervened in the late 1980s. Tom Petty, a close friend, openly expressed his worry, admitting he wouldn't have been surprised if he received the devastating news of Stevie's demise. That's how bad the situation had gotten. The turning point came in 1986 when Stevie Nicks checked into the Betty Ford Clinic to battle her addiction. However, this marked the beginning of another struggle, as Stevie became addicted to Klonopin, a medication prescribed by her psychiatrist. In 1993, recognizing the depth of her battles, Stevie Nicks entered rehab once more. Addressing viewers on Oprah Winfrey's Masterclass series in 2013, she offered advice drawn from her own painful journey. Save your money, because it's going to cost you $50,000 to go to rehab. You will have to go, or you will die. Addiction wasn't the only problem she faced, though. Stevie Nicks faced battles beyond the stage, struggling with image issues that threatened to overshadow her musical prowess. In 1986, a plastic surgeon delivered a sobering message. Her nose was at risk if she continued using cocaine. Concerns intensified as rehab stints led to a significant weight gain, reaching 175 pounds. The scrutiny became unbearable, leading Nicks to contemplate abandoning her true love, singing. Her decision to step away was fueled by harsh public scrutiny about her weight and the added burden of the Epstein-Barr virus, leaving her constantly fatigued. University students even penned papers discussing the perceived decline in album popularity during the early 1990s due to Nicks's weight. The once fairy-like singer felt the weight of public opinion and vowed not to return to the stage until she shed the pounds, embarking on a determinate journey to lose 30 pounds through a high-protein, low-carb diet in 1995. We've talked about all the tragedies in Stevie's life, but let's now tally up some of her hard-earned accomplishments. Since 1977, she's earned 2 Grammys with Fleetwood Mac and secured an astounding 14 Grammy nominations. While her solo work awaits a Grammy, her accolades are plenty. Belladonna, released in 1981, sold over 5 million copies in the US alone. Combined with Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks boasts a staggering 140 million records sold. Her impact transcends music, with the creation of the Stevie Nicks Soldiers Angel Foundation in 2006, providing healing through music-loaded iPods for wounded soldiers. In 2015, the USO honored her with the Outstanding Achievement Award for her dedication to the cause. All this and more makes Stevie a bona fide legend of the music industry. It's clear the music icon had to battle a lot of demons to get to the point she is.